If Michael Blake can Photoshop me.
Ben, hey,
Just shave 20
he
pounds.
said he could take 20 pounds off.
He gave me a whole head of hair.
I can do it. It was an afro, but don't worry about it.
Hey, I put heat rock.
But you guys do protein ones instead.
All right, so Jimmy, the floor is yours, my friend.
Got
Is that all it takes?
My name's Jimmy Franklin, the general manager of Don Marshall Chrysler Dodge Jeep, now Ram, as well as a whole new brand, and in Somerset, Kentucky. I want to say that this is the first time Sherry's asked me to come to this, but I've heard a lot about it over the last, 3 years now, and I can't tell you how impressed I am, not only with the idea session, but how, you guys aren't just F&I people. You're managers. And you can tell by talking to you guys that not only do you care about your store, but you're putting input in other departments and making the whole thing a lot better. And when you, as a general manager, if you have somebody in your organization, which I'm lucky that I got several of them that does that, you don't know how much easier it makes my job. You don't know how much easier we like you guys, and it all works together. And any of you guys here, I can tell you could come and work for me at any time. That's how much I think of you all right now, just by how much I've talked to you and your ideas and stuff.
With no background check?
No background. You can come and work for me. You could come and work for me
Jake can
tomorrow.
make it.
If we had a
Got a
store
shot.
open up, anybody could. I think that much of you guys. I started in the car business 10 years ago. I started when I was 19. Had a full academic scholarship to the University of Kentucky. I went there for a year and a half. I love college.
That's about right. Year, a little over a year, and then you're done.
I love college. Yeah, just like UK.
Here we
One thing I
go.
haven't become basketball down here. I love college, life. Didn't know what I was doing in school. Didn't have no money. Didn't have that much growing up. We weren't poor, we weren't scrounging around for food, but we didn't have a lot. So all your friends, when you go to college, they got that their parents send them there, they're paying for their college, and they're sending them money and all that stuff. Well, I didn't have it. So I like the college life, but school and stuff was tough for me. So I was going to take some time off. Saw a blind ad in the newspaper. Make 50 grand a year, get a company car, insurance, all that good stuff. Had no idea what it was. I went to the Marriott Griffin Gate in Lexington. It was a blind ad to go sell cars at Dan Cummins Chevrolet in Paris, Kentucky. That store, by the way, they were doing 100 cars a month when I was there. I worked there for a year, and now, 8 years later, the sons of that place, they're selling 300 cars a month in Paris, Kentucky. So when I say about, talking about believing stuff you can do, I got a lot of that from there. Now, small store in Paris, Kentucky, selling 300 cars. But answered a blind ad, went in there, interviewed, they put me to selling cars, paid me $1,600 a month, salary. I thought I was rolling. First thing I did was went and bought a PlayStation 3. It's the first thing I did. Or a PlayStation, maybe that's what it was. I can't remember when they first came out. That's the first thing I did, and I thought life was great. Didn't have no money. I was getting $1,600 a month. I thought it was awesome. 90 days into it, I'm selling 3, 4, 5 cars a month. My manager's like, "You're gonna have to get serious about this if you want to work here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, you're selling 5 cars. This ain't cutting it." Probably saved my career in the car business. Probably saved it from then on. I worked there another 9 months. Never sold less than 10, sold 17 one month, 19 years old. Met my wife at UK. We didn't get married until after we had met a long time, but her dad owned the store in Somerset. Before we got married, he asked me if I wanted to come down there and run a special finance department. I could do that. Figured, what the hell, selling cars, if it doesn't work out, I can go sell cars down there. Dan Cummins was a huge special finance store. They did tons of special finance business. So I kind of already, obviously I didn't know how it worked, but I kind of knew the concept behind it, what kind of customer it is, and I've worked a lot of those deals, so I kind of had a small understanding. First month I was there, I did 6 special finance deals. The last month I was there, I did 44 deals, over 150 grand on special finance deals with one guy. It was crazy. Loved it. It's probably one of my most favorite jobs in the entire dealership. 2007, I went to the dealer academy, spent a year there, and it was a life-changing experience. I learned I mean, so much of what I use every day that I learned in 2007 was a life-changing experience. I've kind of been on the fast track, I guess you could say. My father-in-law owns the place. Some people think, man, it's great, you know, you just got in there, and that's true. That is a lot of what happened was he gave me an opportunity. But a lot of people that get that opportunity, they blow it, and that's what I didn't want to do. So it was tough. I had to fire a lot of people that I liked, had been there a long time, because I was young, changed, didn't want to keep doing what we were doing. Brought people in, and we've really taken off and grown. And a lot of that is because of this lady right here. I mean, she's been with me, no kidding.
You're gonna make me cry.
About 2 months after, it was about 2 months after I was there, is when you came in, right? You've been there in our store.
Yes.
You're out for like a couple months, but you came back with a vengeance. But,
Go figure.
I mean, obviously, I think we can all attest to how much she's done for us, all of us. And now, you know, I don't talk to her as much about F&I stuff as I used to. I talk to her about the normal day-to-day stuff, about managing people and setting expectations and how to reach your goals and that kind of stuff. So not only is she good at doing the F&I stuff, which we all know, we probably know she does a really good job at all the other stuff, but she's an amazing leader and extremely inspirational. And that's where, I mean, I couldn't have done it without her. I mean that 100%. With that being said, my idea is going to take about 5 minutes. It's not very long. Tried to think a little bit outside the box, but still bring some F&I stuff into it. Try to think of some stuff that we were doing. And I got a couple handouts I'm going to give you. I'm going to give the original. I got some extras. You can kind of share that. It's only had one of those left.
Okay, this is the original one for your
Yeah.
20 group meetings?
That's just the original, Blake, what we.
Okay, what you implemented,
Yeah.
I got
What
you.
we used.
Is everybody getting one of these
Here,
or
here.
not?
No, not with those, because I didn't know that they would all
Okay.
want one, actually.
That's okay.
I know, before we go over this, that this will work in your store. I know it 100%. In a second, I'll tell you why. We say it all the time. Service department, there's tons of opportunities, right? You can sell more cars. How many cars can we sell in service if we actually focused on it? A lot of cars, right? We don't do anything about it. Our store doesn't either. Your store probably doesn't either. There's opportunities in service. There's opportunities in our store overall, especially service. Service contracts and service. We also say it all the time. Great place to sell them, right? All of us in this room, including our store, probably spent for our advisors, our service manager, $50, $7,500. If they bring a customer to the F&I department and we sell them a service contract, you do that, give you $50. Should be happening all the time. Chris, you made a good point. You said you understand how important, your service department understands how important F&I is, service contract and stuff.
Correct.
Do you daily have all of them come and bringing them to you? Hey, so this guy's service contract, his car, he needs one. Ken, any of you guys? Because we didn't either, and there was a big opportunity there. So what I did was I come up with a solution idea to make sure all of your potential customers that are in your shop right now at least get offered an extended service contract. Here's the key, personalized for their vehicle. I made this thing 2 pages, the actual idea, because I wanted it to be 2 pages because I thought it would be too short just on 1 page.
Honestly, that's policy.
There's some other stuff in there. I could have shortened it up and gotten it all on 1 page, but I thought, man, that doesn't look very good. 4 steps make this happen. Okay? Step 1, Get with your service manager and ask him to run a report for your scheduled service the next day. So Monday afternoon, 4:30, our service manager's name is Brian. Say, hey Brian, you run me a report for who we have scheduled in the shop tomorrow. Our store actually does electronic scheduling, so if you guys get access to your DMS into your service, you can download the report right there. You don't even have to ask him. Step 2, out of that list, you're going to cross-check the customers and the vehicles in the DMS report to see if they currently have a service contract. Number 3, after you determine which ones do not have a service contract, and then any vehicles that are in your shop that they didn't buy it from you or it's their first time there, assume that they don't. Okay, because there's no way to tell, so just assume that they don't have it. Get the VIN and mileage on those cars. Step 4, log into CNA's pricing tool, Protective, whatever, whoever you guys use. Log into that, input the VIN and mileage from the vehicles that are in your shop that don't have service contracts. You have to do this individually. And the service contracts that are eligible for an individual vehicle, pick the one that you believe makes the most sense for your customer, because you can't, actually talk to them at that point and figure out what's best. So you're gonna have to use a little bit, what's the best service contract policy gonna be for this car? And you can do it based on how many miles are on it, the age, that kind of thing, what kind of car it is. I would recommend pricing a mid-range service contract as far as the coverage goes. That's what we do. That way you can always go up or down in price and coverage. However, you'll have to determine what to do as far as mileage is concerned and based on the driving conditions and miles on the car already. How long does it take to do this? Because this is what it's all about, right? You guys don't have a lot of time, do you? You guys have a lot of extra time just to be back there talking to all these customers? No, you don't. It takes 5 minutes to pull the report, 10 minutes to cross-check with your DMS, 15 minutes to do the pricing, 5 minutes to attach to a customer copy of the RO, 35 minutes for every eligible service customer to get a written offer for a service contract. How does this benefit you? You're going to make more money, have happier customers, you're going to increase your product penetration. If you have 200 eligible ROs per month, and you close 5% of those, 5 out of 100, it's 10 extra service contracts a month. Can you guys use those? 10 extra right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you can. What I've done is, you guys got a copy, and I've got Bailey Gibson. He's not here.
Yeah, it's here.
So I've got his on there. These are what we use. I'll customize them for you. So this right here, what we're talking about, you can go back and do that tomorrow. Okay? I've got, and the key was to make it personalized, right, for your customer's vehicle. So when you run that report, you see exactly what kind of car it is. Here's a flyer that gets attached to every customer copy of the RO. Okay? It's not too late for peace of mind. Protect your investment. Stop worrying about potential problems. Towing assistance rental cars. In this case, your 2005 GMC is still eligible for an extended service contract. 36 months, 36,000 miles, only $1,603. See Dallas Marl Lot for details today. Also, for you guys, we'll let you a blank one. So you can go back, scan them in, implement this tomorrow.
You can also even put $106 a month or whatever the
Right.
payment plan is.
Exactly. We don't have a payment plan, which is exactly what we're going to start doing.
Well, we have it. You all just abused it back when you were doing.
Right,
special
because I'll work the system. Now, you want to get real creative with this? What we're going to start doing is not only the service contracts, but your tire and wheel. We just started doing the ECP. You do your ECP on this the same way. You close just 5% of them. And I know this works in your stores, and I'll tell you why. Remember I mentioned that earlier? Called every one of your stores and got actual VINs and miles. So what you see on there is a car that was in your shop that is eligible for a service contract. Whether they do or don't have one, I don't know. I couldn't go that far. I told them I didn't want to know the name. I don't want to know the address. I talked to your service managers. If you can just get me the VIN and miles, that's all I need. Ken, sorry, yours is copied off of Tony's because your service manager was busy, couldn't talk to me. you know, that kind of thing.
You're too busy talking to me.
Okay. Well, this is a perfect opportunity to talk to him, okay? Take him out for lunch, do something unexpected. He will not be expecting it, trust me. Ours never did either. But take him out to lunch, talk about this, go over it. We still spiff your guys. But now, every customer that's eligible for a service contract in your shop is going to get a written offer. And I can't tell you how powerful that is. So now, instead of having to go back there and think, you know, Tony, all your guys' ideas were awesome, okay? I mean, they were blown away. They would win any 20 group session I've ever been in. And I mean that. They would win the session. And it would pay more than $500. It'd pay $2,000 to the winner.
Dealers have.
Awesome idea. And there's a lot more people in it. But this right here is super simple. Okay? It takes minimal effort. You can do it as soon as you go back
Who
tomorrow.
do you have doing that? I have a question. Is that a CSI person that does it? Is it the finance people? Because you take a store like Bowser, and they just rock and roll back there in service, plus their volume is massive, okay? So who would you say would be the best?
Well, I think the key to it is pulling the appointments from the previous day.
Pull them
And
for the
then-
next day. So
Yeah.
you know who's coming in. You
Okay,
have your schedule.
He would already have them,
You already have the list.
you get,
he'd already
so,
have it made up that morning when the service supervisor comes in.
I understand, who would be doing that? So in your store, would that be you?
Yeah,
Would that be you?
It would be
That
me the
okay.
night before I
Just
go
like Jim
home.
Brink. You take a stapler, you staple this thing to the customer copy of the order. Boom.
Because they have Zara's written up the day before.
And the customers that come in, when they come into you're not going back there and talking to anybody. You're not upselling anybody. You're not doing any of that. Okay, service advisors may or may not mention it. Even right now today in our store, they don't mention it. I'm not gonna tell you what they did. But if they did, it'd be great. You still spiff them on it. Okay, so they're appreciative when they get that 50, our guys get 50 when they get that $50. But this is, you're not upselling anybody. You're not hard selling. You're not back there talking to people, taking away time from the stuff that you all have to do, because I know what it is. I've done it. I've done special finance, I've done retail, I worked in the service drive. And when I was in the service drive, I was thinking, man, these people need service contracts. They don't have nothing, $1,800 bill, and I know that car's gonna be tore up in 3 months again. I know it is. You know, you see the same cars coming back all the time. I read the service, I know it, I've seen it. Like I said, we're gonna get ready to get creative with it, almost make like a menu type thing. We're gonna condense ours a little bit, put ECP, we just started doing that, we're rocking with that product, it's awesome. I mean, it is awesome, we love it. Any questions you guys have?
How long have you been doing this usually? Or is
6
it-
months.
How much?
6 months.
And are you seeing that 5%?
Oh, yeah.
Tell them what your service contract penetration is
It's
there.
went up, it's went up. Our service contract penetration has went up. And because of this, but because also we put a lot more emphasis on it, it's been up about 8%.
They're always over 50% service.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
contract
I'm sorry,
penetration.
did you ask me how much was going on?
Yeah, well, both.
Yeah, we're running, we generally stay well over 50%. But, you know, there's a couple things that are conducive to that, but this is.
You got a rock star now.
Huh?
Jim Brink's one of the best.
He does.
He has a
does.
great team.
Does a good job. But, and I'm not in your old stores, but in our store, everybody's on the same page with that F&I department.
Yeah, we are.
And we want F&I to do just as much as the front end does. Believe you me. When we look at it, the bottom, we break it into front end, back end and stuff, but when we look at the total pie, we see what we got there at the bottom, and then kind of know what we've accomplished. So implement this. I can tell you it works. I know it works in your stores because these are your cars, it's on your sheet that's eligible. And when somebody comes back there and they're asking about the service contract, get that payment plan going, it's like easy money, stuff you never would have before, because they ain't doing it now.
What is each store, think about this, Mark, each store sold another 10 contracts a month. It's huge. That's exactly right.
So when your scooters come in, you gotta put that scooter on your log. And
Wouldn't it
maybe-
be nice to put a service
Maybe you
contract
get
or two
that-
without a unit?
Maybe
Wow.
you get that 2010 Impala that was bought up the street somewhere, they're bringing it to you guys for service, you sold them a service contract, hey, you got a customer coming back.
Especially like.
You can go over deductibles with them when they get back there, because this doesn't have none of that on there. I mean, that's why you want to put enough information on there where they're interested, but not everything where it's explained there, they still gotta come talk to you. That's the key, because that's when you sell them. Right, and the ones that you got, I've got those marked up $200. I mean, we're not gonna mark them up $1,000 and set them back here, cause you ain't gonna get no calls. You ain't gonna have nobody come back and see you, cause they got a $600 bill, and you're trying to sell them a $2,800 service contract, it ain't happening. So just be, you know, these are extra service contracts that you're gonna get for your penetration, it's gonna make you some more money, but you're not gonna get rich off these right here. Okay?
If 40% of your customers bought, that means 60% did not. You know, and I know it, we have a direct-to-consumer program at Bowser with Protected, and the F&I people didn't like it so much, and basically the short version of that is they solicit your customers after the fact. There's some mumble grumbling with from the F&I department, but the fact of the matter is, we get quite a bit of business from that program, and they don't give them away when they call and solicit your customer. They're very expensive. Perfect, you need this one back. But you know what? They're buying service contracts, so your customers are getting solicited anyway. If you bought a vehicle, you can go in the mail and you can see it. You know what I mean? They're saying it looks like a GM service contract, and they're getting solicited regardless. And some of them are buying it.
Well, and actually, in that situation, before we were actually able to offer them ourselves, I was given that phone number up because that was cars that we couldn't offer an extended
That's
service
correct.
contract on. In fact, my daughter's O2 Planning Centerfire, I've gotten 15 letters from that company.
They don't stop until you
No,
tell them to
they-
stop.
Hey, and also, like, you know, the service contracts, even like the 12-month or the 24-month, Jim doesn't do a lot of those, I'll go and tell you, he doesn't do a lot of those, but he does, you know, you do the ones that you're comfortable with, but there's such an opportunity back there for cars with 120, 130,000 miles on them, that you know is gonna have probably gonna have problems, get these customers some decent miles.
Key is they're gonna end up back in your service drive.
Absolutely.
That's the big key. is
You're gonna take
Once
care of
they
it,
have
sell
that
another
service
car.
contract, they're coming back to you for everything.
They're gonna trade that car in, you know it's been maintained, it's always worth a little bit more. Then when they come back in your office and you're selling them stuff, that's when you get your $750. Right there. Any questions?
Very nice.